Extremely excited to get out there at US Bank Stadium in front of the best fans in the National Football League. And, it's going to be a tough opponent for us. Atlanta's going to be ready to bounce back. I know Coach Morris and Coach Ulbrich are going to have, a great plan for us. And we just got to go out there and compete and, take advantage of this time, on a short week and really maximize it.
Any surprise on the NFC Player of the Week news?
A little surprised, but at the end of the day, Monday Night Football, it's a tremendous win we got, but that's a team award. I don't look at that as an individual award at all. Defense kept us in it the whole game and found a way to bounce back offensively. So, yeah, it's great and all, but it's on to the next one.
What do you know about Penn, and what do you remember about your college back and forth with it?
I love Michael. Just being able to be with him, during the pre-draft process and really understand his process and who he is as a man and his personality. It's no surprise where, he's in the position he's in right now. And, I'm extremely excited to see him again and compete against him. But, yeah, he's a great player, and it's going to be a good test for our defense.
JJ, do you think your mobility caught them by surprise at all?
I think so, a little bit. We didn't show any zone read plays early on in the game, so I think it was, called at a perfect time, and, at the end of the day, got a little something in the tank, so ready to use it whenever.
How do you walk that line of when to flee the pocket and when to stay in?
I feel like there's an internal clock that goes off in my mind, but, a lot of things break down. This is the National Football League, so just being able to feel and react, not really anticipate, is something that I really pride myself on. But, just always have that, in my back pocket, which is, huge in this league.
JJ, as you had a chance to go back and watch the film, what are your big takeaways from Monday night and how that helps you improve going forward?
Big takeaway is, just all the little fundamental things that, we kind of lean on is something that isn't 100% there. So just being able to go back onto the practice field and keep making those concrete habits. And I feel like the way we adapted as an offense throughout the game when it wasn't going our way, in those first three quarters, and being able to experience that and know what we have is something that was huge to take away from. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and we're definitely not even close to where we want to be as an offense. So it was a lot of things that we learned.
Were there fundamental things for you that you felt like as you watched it back, hey, I can take this and move forward and build on it?
For sure. Yeah, a lot of things with just like coming off a play pass and where I'm at the top of the drop, and little things like quick game, is my feet grounded and ready to not waste that split second of a second to deliver that football. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't want to get into because it's going into next week, but yeah, a lot to improve.
Did you watch the tape over and over, or do you just try to watch it once, what happened out there, and move on?
I watch it 2 or 3 times. One time just buzzing through kind of on the plane, and then another time just like really spending like 4 hours on it, just getting really into the details and understanding all the little things that could end up being the outcome of that play. And yeah, I'd say 2 to 3 times, and then we're moving on.
What's it been like to take over a team, join a team with so many veterans, guys who've been playing for so long? Did you feel like you had to prove yourself to them, maybe as a player, but also just kind of as a competitor / teammate / all the intangibles as well?
I feel like it was more proving it to myself because, I feel like this team, their belief in me is something that, I tremendously appreciate. And just being able to have a situation like that where things aren't going our way and take advantage of that opportunity on the sideline and being able to really show who I am in the biggest moment was something that was really cool. But, yeah, it was just more proving it to myself.
JJ, when things are going bad like that, first half not going away, you have a mistake, how do you not get rattled emotionally in that? How do you kind of keep that positivity that your demeanor didn't seem like it changed?
For me, it's about controlling the controllables. There's a lot of things that didn't go our way, and, just being able to focus on that next play, stay present, stay calm, and really just worry about operating the next play. It's really simple but hard to do. But I feel like just being in that thought process of, okay, what can I control right here, helps me out tremendously.
It's like of trying to adapt in game, seeing stuff defensively that probably you guys didn't plan for going in.
Just going on the sideline and talking it through. I felt like our communication on the sideline was something that I was really proud of, and Coach O'Connell's ability to adjust and adapt was something that was great, expected, just being the great play caller he is. But I feel like just our internal dialogue with the line, the receivers, tight ends, running backs was something that was really cool.
your poise come from? We talk about that a lot. I spoke with Carson after the game, and he was like, the poise he has right now as a young quarterback is something that I had to learn, as a veteran right now. So where do you get all that from?
I feel like a lot of it comes with just meditation, just being able to stay present and, understand that there's a lot of things out of your control, whether it's a football game or in life, and just really staying hell-bent on, what's in my hands, what can I do to affect this moment right now. And, meditation is just a tool that helps strengthen that muscle. So I feel like the more disciplined I stay with that, the easier it is to stay composed.
Is there any part of the home environment that you're most looking forward to kind of experiencing in a regular season game here?
Extremely excited to just, get that skull chant, just feel that energy, that, exuberant environment that US Bank Stadium has, and definitely a lot quieter when we have the ball on offense. That's something that's going to be great, and be able to, operate, clean and crisp, and everyone knows what they're doing, and there's no miscommunication. So definitely looking forward to a lot of things, but just, seeing all the purple in the stands at the end of the day, it's going to be a lot of fun.
You make sure you control the controllables, meaning there's a lot of attention and texts and people reaching out to you, I'm sure now from your past. How do you make sure that you have proper balance there, and you're at home and you're present with your fiance, all those things?
For sure. It's keeping the main thing. I feel like for me, it's faith, family, and football. Like those three priorities in my life is something, during the season especially, that I really hone in on. And everything else is just kind of a distraction, and I look at it as like a conveyor belt. What's coming in? There's a lot of stuff. All right, is this in that bucket? Is this, fluff, the cheese, whatever you want to call it? And then we discard it over there. So I feel like just keeping those three priorities at the forefront of my mind is something that helps tremendously.
That said, you said you give yourself the time to think about that game, maybe Monday night or into Tuesday morning. Did you, and did you kind of realize that your, at least public life, is going to be a lot different prior to that game to now?
I haven't really felt that too much, but I definitely took time, in the locker room with my guys. That's the best feeling in the world, when you just grind out a win and you celebrate with your teammates and your coaches and all the guys that put in the work to have that outcome come to fruition. But yeah, the public life stuff, I feel like that's something that, just comes with the territory. And, there's so many great fans and so many great people in this great state of Minnesota that, it makes it very easy to just have normal conversations with everyone and, normal human to human interactions. So.
We saw a lot of emotion pour out of you different times in that ball game, whether you're cheering the mean mugging face or whatever.
Yeah.
Was that just specific because of all that went into that game, or is that kind of how you are?
It's kind of how I roll. Yeah, for sure. It is real when, I'm ready to go to war on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, and, sometimes Saturdays and Wednesdays, yeah. But, it's really just like a flip that's switched, and, the rest takes care of itself from there.
JJ, where do you go, like, mentally when the game is on the line in the biggest moments that allow you to lock in and rise to the occasion like that?
Lean back on the fundamentals. The simple things about that play that I have to perfect is something that just makes it, very easy to just have that focused attention and, not let my mind race or wander to anywhere else. And I feel like just having the preparation throughout the week and the confidence in my abilities and myself to go execute that play. But yeah, it's really just making it simple. There's so many ways that you could think about, how this is going to happen, how this is going to happen. But if you just compartmentalize it into what's my job that play, it makes it very easy to stay on point. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.